Members, you are welcome to today's lecture. BPAM Tutu, and the question is administrative law and process by Nisima Dan. Let us today look at reading cases, the definition of a case. Then we shall look at the parties to a case, and then after, what to look for in a case, and then we look at another subtopic known as enactment of acts of parliament, the procedure that should be followed for a bill to become an act of parliament. So, what is a case? A case is a situation whereby different persons who have a dispute between them or complaint appear before a court of law and seek redress, a remedy, settlement, or for court to determine what party has a legal right to whatever is in dispute between them. And the case is either civil, criminal, or a constitutional case. A civil case is where the parties involved are individuals. For example, Atapaloi versus Baker. If they are individuals, that is a civil case. In a civil case, the parties involved include defendant and the defendant, the plaintiff. The plaintiff is the one who takes a case before the court of law. Or he or she is the injured party who takes the matter to court so as to get a redress or a solution for court to decide on the matter in controversy between them. Taking a case to a court of law is referred to as suing. Then it is the plaintiff versus the defendant. The defendant is the person who is taken to court or is sued. A criminal case is the one that involves situations where an individual or individuals breaks one of the criminal laws. If it happens, then it is said that he has breached the peace of the society, and as such, the society forms the state. That is, the state appears in court on behalf of the society, community, person who is wronged. In other words, it is the state that sues the offender or wrongdoer. A criminal wrong against a person is a wrong against society, and therefore a wrong against the state. Thus, the state sues the wrongdoing party on behalf of the society and the injured party or victim. Criminal cases involve the following parties: the state, the accused. And then now, let us look at what to look for in a case. When you have taken a case to courts of law, what to look for in a case? This means the location of the case. It comprises the parties. And I've said the parties can be the plaintiff versus the defendant, or if you don't want to call them plaintiff versus the defendant, you can call them petitioner versus the respondent. That is civil case. And in criminal cases, it is the state versus the accused. Then what to look for in a case? Citation. That is number one. This means the location of the case, and it comprises the parties, the law report where the case is reported, the volume in which they reported, and the page, for example, Kayondo versus Onen, 1999, case number 40. Number two, what to look for in a case is the material facts. This covers the important facts of the case which gave birth to the dispute between the parties that led to the bringing of the case before a court of law. Then number three, the court that decided the matter is also important. And number four is about issues. This entails the matter in controversy between the parties on which they would like the court to make a decision. That is the point of disagreement between the parties that calls for the determination of the court. For example, whether there was a valid contract made, whether there was consideration given to the promise. Let us now look at, those are some concepts I wanted to start with. Now let us look at acts of parliament. Acts of parliament, and particularly we shall look at how an act of parliament is enacted how a bill becomes an act of parliament. Enactment of laws. Parliament has the mandate to enact laws as per the Constitution, Article 79, Section 1. Ordinarily, there are always new matters arising in society which needs to be addressed where the law in place does not provide for them. Such problems may require to be addressed either through a new piece of legislation if it is found to be necessary. The minister or authority responsible for the matter which necessitates the law drafts a bill. What is a bill? A bill is a proposed law made before it can be debated on by parliament. It is a draft law and is called the bill. It becomes a law when it is passed by parliament. It may be public bill if it affects the general public, or private bill if it affects a specific section of the community. The bill goes through phases and various stages before it becomes law. The first step or the first phase, first reading. This is the first stage. The bill at this point is introduced to the House or Parliament, either by the private member of Parliament or by the line minister. Then the second stage is called the second reading. This stage involves the relevant minister, or the one who made the bill, or the private member of Parliament, like the Honorable Magezi bill. This stage involves the person who moved the bill, explaining the purpose of the bill to the small committee. The purpose is considered details of every section and the legal implication of the bill. Then step 3, committee stage. After the section reading, the bill is studied and scrutinized by the committee of the House or by a smaller committee. The purpose is to consider the details of every section and the legal implications of the bill. Number 4, reporting stage. Having fully examined and discussed the bill is reported to the House. At this stage, the House is given an opportunity to debate the bill and amendments, if any, proposed by the committee. Number 5, third reading. This is the final stage where there is no more debating except minor draft changes. This is when Parliament decides to pass the bill. A bill is passed by Parliament and it does not become law until it is assented to by the President. The legislation becomes law and is entered into the law books of the country and becomes part of the law of the country. And then it is put in the National Gazette. If the President does not accept the bill, he returns it to Parliament for modification. But if he refuses for the second time to accept the bill and sign it into law, then Parliament may vote on the bill, and as long as the Speaker attains 2/3 of the Parliament's majority, then the bill becomes law with or without the President's assent. Members, thanks a lot. God bless you. We shall start from there next time.